Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of DevCast, a podcast on DSC Leads and Google developer experts that is proudly organized by Developer Student Club Loyola from the Ateneo de Manila University. My name is Andy from DSC Admu.
And I'm Paulo Fuentes. We're your co-hosts for today. Joining us is Bruce Alturas, and he will be talking about his passions in technology, his journey to becoming DSC Lead, lessons learned during his term, and so much more. So, hi Bruce, welcome to DevCast.
Hi, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So, hi, my name is Bruce. I am a third year college student taking up Bachelor of Science in Information and Technology at the University of San Carlos.
All right, so to start off, we want to know more about the background and early years of our speaker. So we want to ask, where did you grow up, Bruce, and what's it like there?
So, I was born and raised here in Cebu. It's a small city, so it's quite often that I actually bump into someone I know. And in our family, we're 6 siblings, so you can imagine how chaotic and crazy it would be. And me being the youngest, I was somehow a bit spoiled, and my parents would used to say that I easily have tantrums, which is why I always get teased a lot by my older siblings. And even until now, they still call me Baby Bruce of the family. And growing up, I used to hang out in the streets a lot with my friends. We would play patintero and hide and seek day and night. Other times, I would play basketball like the entire afternoon. And when I get home, my mom would wonder why I'm sweaty and dark. And yeah, and as a kid, I would consider myself athletic because I would play any sports and like challenge people.
What sports do you play?
I play like any kind of sports, but mostly I do like basketball, but I played
Same.
I played before like soccer, badminton, volleyball, softball. It's like baseball.
Oh, that's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
Really,
and frisbee.
versatile.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it is something it is something that I like challenging and challenging people. I think it is something that driven me until now. I continue to push and challenge myself and take opportunities in life.
Were you invited by your friends or invited by your parents to like play, or did you did you initiate na you wanna play, so you would like
I would
you would be the
initiate.
one to invite?
I would initiate people like we would bet sometimes, like we would
Yeah.
bet like 10 pesos. I was like, hey, like you want to play? Let's play. Like yeah, it's kind of fun. But now I'm kind of laying low. I'm not that athletic anymore.
Yeah, we all have our priorities, but yeah, sometimes in our free time. Personally, for me, like when I would go home to my home province, because I'm from Iloilo. Yeah, so I'm also from Visayas. So whenever I would go home from Manila, I would also play with my high school batchmates. And yeah, I can really relate with what you do. I think that's really the tatak provincial life.
Yeah.
Do you understand Iligay nun?
No, but I do understand what you said right now.
Yeah, so personally, I don't understand din Cebuano, so kind of weird since we're not that far, pero I understand Tagalog more than Cebuano. Kind of ironic.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Bruce, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
When I was a kid, I really didn't have that kind of mindset because I guess I was too, busy playing and fooling around. But some point, I wanted to be a lot of things. Probably first would be I wanted to become a priest. I know it's kind of funny, but
Who influenced you to be a priest?
no, because I was born. I was raised in a religious family, so my mom really influenced me to having that kind of dream. And also the other reason was that I thought I would not have a girlfriend in my life, so I was like, I would rather be a priest. But I don't know if that's a bad thing. But like right now,
Same, bro.
I already have a girlfriend, so like, yeah. And then there was some point, I even wanted to be like Spider-Man because he was my hero at that time.
Yeah, childhood hero.
And then
you're a Marvel fan?
Yeah, I am a Marvel fan. Yeah, I'm also a DC fan, but I'm not really. I really don't know much about DC except for the Flash, though. So yeah.
So you mentioned you wanted to be a priest. Did you seriously consider it at that time?
No, I think.
When I grow up, I want to go to a seminary.
No, I didn't. Eventually, I wanted to become a chef. It was something that I really wanted to be. Like I really had plans of like going to like cooking school, but then I fell in love with technology, so it changed my life. It changed what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Yeah, so you mentioned you fell in love with technology. So when did you first show interest in technology?
So I first show interest in technology back when I joined a event called Startup Weekend, Cebu Youth Edition. So at that time, Startup Weekend is like a hackathon, a 3-day hackathon where not only developers were there, but entrepreneurs, businessmen, women were there to pitch ideas that were solved or used in tech. And I remember the idea that we pitched, my team and I. Shout out to Oscar, Aaron, and Joshua. So
shout out.
So they were my team. We were called Team Flick. So basically, the Flick was the name of our application, and the idea was to look for a restaurant or entertainment center or like theater, depending on your location and your budget. So that's what we pitched. We weren't able to win though, but the experience and the opportunity being there was really worth it.
Yeah.
Would you
Was this
say
an
that?
app?
Oh, sorry, go lang.
Was this an app?
It wasn't a web app. It was web app at the time.
Sige.
Was this like your first encounter with tech, or have you encountered tech before, but this was the first time that it kind of like clicked, like, oh, this is fun?
Oh, yeah, it is my first show of interest in tech. But my first encounter in tech was, others would agree that their first encounter in tech would be in school, because like generally speaking, like their initial encounter would be in school. For kids in today's generation, they encountered tech even at months old, for educational and learning purposes. In my case, my first encounter of tech was when I was 4, back in 2003. It was Pentium 4, 2.0 gigahertz, if I could remember. It had a 2 gigabyte RAM. It was running Windows XP, so I can't really recall all technical details. But I do remember that my dad taught me how to use computer, and I would remember that I would use Paint all day because it was something that just would interest kids at that time, would play and just doodle around with Paint. And there were also games such as Minesweeper and the infamous pinball, and also don't forget solitaire, of course.
Yeah, I remember those playing them in my school's computer. I think when I was grade school.
Yeah,
Forgettable times. And in Carta Kids.
that's true. Yeah, and Carta Kids also. Yeah, I do remember that when there was still no like Call of Duty or even like the kinds of games we have today.
All right, so that was cool because I think paint also, like I showed an interest in paint when I was younger. Like that was my favorite. Not really app because it's not really an well, technically it's an app, but like that was my favorite app when I was a kid. I used to like play around with the paint bucket because it was so
Yeah,
fun.
so
So
fun.
yeah, I hate how like that was one of like the highlights of my life. It was using paint. So before we like delve into your journey in DSC, we want to talk about your life as a college student so far. So how's life in the University of San Carlos?
It's okay. It's quite, since the from the traditional learning, we shifted to online learning. I think all of us could agree that we're still adjusting to this new normal, but so far it's quite the same, being in actual school. Sometimes I'm late. Sometimes sometimes you sleep in class, like even in online. But I don't do that. I don't do that always. Just sometimes. I just want to clear that out. So yeah.
Wag niyo raw tularan, guys.
Please don't follow what I did.
So, you mentioned your course is IT. So, were you able to join orgs or were you active in extracurricular activities that were related to your course?
Actually, no. Developer Student Club was the first organization that I joined or even encountered in my, so far.
So that
in my
was your
college
first
years.
org talaga.
Yes, it was.
So, how about in first year, second year? Were you like active na sa extracurriculars?
Should it be like related to tech?
Not really. Kahit non-tech.
Non-tech. Okay, so in our school, like we have like we have, what do we call this? We have intrams. We have intramurals. So it's like a school festival.
Like a sports fest.
Yeah, it's like a sports fest.
Yeah.
So where you will be able to join like sports activities. You get yourself involved to any kinds of activities, and one of which is cheer, dance. So I auditioned for our department and I got in, and then even before, like in my college days, I've been doing cheer dance. So it was something that I also wanted to join. So I think that's one thing that I could consider extracurricular that is non-tech.
Grabe, versatile talaga. So you have sports na and you also had dance.
Yeah, I guess.
So IT is like a pretty general course. I would know because I'm in IT for may isa dulo, so I have a little specialization there for entrepreneurship. So I wanted to ask, are you planning on taking any minors or specializations?
As of, I think it is because I think our curriculum is quite different because most of our subjects are like really inclined to our course, like, but there were, I think it was last sem we were able to choose an elective which it is not necessarily to be inclined to your course, like it could be like any subject. So I took up the first elective I took up was branding. So I think it was make something like about branding. I forgot the title of the course, but it was branding. So that was the first thing I took up because I really wanted to know further about branding aside from learning in YouTube or in Coursera or other educational courses. And the next elective I took up was Internet of Things. So it was all about IoT and how it works in our daily lives and how it began.
That's really interesting. Like the Google Home Mini.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's the speaker
I am. I actually do have it right now. But it's not
you would just say, "Hey Google."
Yeah.
And then you can like ask it to play any songs
or even connect it to your like smart homes appliances.
Yeah. It's a really interesting elective. I wish we would have it here in Ateneo soon.
Yeah, maybe you could pitch it. Maybe you could pitch it.
Yeah. So your course is IT. What's the difference between like your course in San Carlos from other tech courses like computer science?
Wow, that's actually something that I'm still quite, do not have knowledge about. But what I do know is like when you're in computer science, it is more like technical, or not probably technical. Technical in the sense that computer science
programming talaga.
Yeah, like programming. Like computer science students tends to like create, codes from scratch, like those kind of stuff. And then information technology, they're more on applying those what computer science made, like the codes, like something like that. That's what my idea is between computer science and information technology. But I think they're still, for me, they're still somehow the same. It's just that they depends on what they focus specifically in tech. Yeah.
So what made you choose IT?
So basically,
was that your first choice?
No, that's not my first choice. It was,
oh wow.
I wanted to become a computer engineering.
Yeah.
So I wanted to become not computer engineering, civil engineering. I wanted to become a civil engineering because I wanted to take something different that is not related to tech, because two of my older brothers took up tech degrees in tech, and I wanted to take something different. So I was interested with civil engineering, but then I kind of failed in my physics class. So I was like, okay, I guess I won't take civil anymore, because what I heard when you take civil engineering, you'll have more physics and calculus. So
yeah,
I want to.
Oh my gosh,
that.
Calculus! I've always dreaded calculus.
I even failed calculus, but then eventually I passed. So
yeah, especially yung mga limits. It was actually way harder than derivatives.
Yeah,
for me.
I can't even remember. Remember what. So yeah, and then the reason why I chose tech would probably the first reason would be because of the influence of my two older brothers. My older brother, Christian, took up information technology.
Hi, Christian.
Hi, Kuya. Took up information technology and is currently working at Apple Singapore right now.
Oh wow!
I don't know what he does.
Talaga.
Yeah, I know. So I don't really know what he does there specifically, but he influences me of his works. Like he sometimes shared to me what he does, and just the luxury and the privilege to be there and to be working under Apple. I think that's it's already a big thing. And next is my brother Francis. Hi, Kuya.
Hi, Francis.
So he is currently the CEO and Chief Product Designer of Abstract PH. So it's a company based here in Cebu, and they specialize in. I know they do product design, and they specialize in UI and UX. So my second older brother Francis really influenced me, especially me liking or me being fun with designing, UI and UX design, branding. So yeah, he really taught me, and somehow I kind of followed his footsteps. So yeah, so two of my brothers really influenced me, and now they are going big in their
Yeah, they're actually booming in their careers. One's a CEO of a startup, right?
yeah.
And one went corporate, which is in Apple Singapore. Wow.
Yeah. So
Runs in the blood.
yeah, I hope so. Don't jinx it yet. I do hope. And yeah, and my second reason, and would probably technology is continuously improving and growing every day. So its value is also, rising, whether it's a product, a service, or a job position. Because I think being in a tech industry, like the value of the job position is really increasing, continuously increasing right now. And it is also amazing to see how technology is also changing the lives of people, making their lives much simpler, faster,
Yeah,
and
true.
how they do their tasks every day. Like, it really made a big impact to how we live. And it is that very reason why I chose this degree and pursue tech, in order to change the world for better. So yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you. Like those insights, those early experiences. It's really it's insightful, and it gives us like a really good background of who you are. So, thank you for that. Every student goes through their own set of obstacles, right? But for you, especially as a tech student, you experience a unique set. So we wanted to ask, what struggles have you faced as you pursue tech?
So going back, I think one of the not disadvantage, but I think one of the struggles that I face in pursuing tech is that, again, technology is continuously growing every day. So like the technology that we are trying to learn, like specifically, let's say, like frameworks, like in developing, they're continually changing, and they're becoming more harder and difficult to configure or even to code nowadays. So I think those are one of the things that I find as a struggle as a tech student. And aside from that, I think one is probably there are a lot of people already that are pursuing tech. So I think it's the
The
competitiveness.
competition.
Yeah, the competition between students, because we can't really we can't deny it that there are some people who are already born to be a developer, who started coding when they were still a kid. And and then that's also a challenge. And also, I think you can also see it as an opportunity to become better. But yeah, those are the two things that I consider like struggles as I face to pursue tech.
So yeah, you mentioned that it changes every day, and there's always this constant competition, which is understandable because tech is such a broad industry, and of course everyone wants to be a part of it because of all the money in tech. So
Yeah.
how do you keep up with this continuous evolution of technology?
Probably keeping it in mind that once you graduate, you'll have you'll have a good job. You might have a good job if you continue to pursue tech and do good. The again, with the value of your job position, it's quite big. So you want to grab that opportunity, and I think it's just that I want to continue pursuing my dream job and my goal, just to change the world for a better through tech.
I see. I see. That's pretty cool. So, well, we know quite a lot about you now, Bruce. We were, but now what I really want to know is what DSC was like for you. So, what's the story behind your DSC journey? And you can start with how you discovered DSC, or well, any part of the story that you'd like.
Oh, okay, sure. So for some, they already knew what DSC is. I think like in terms for Harvey, he already knew what DSC was. For some, they knew DSC through their school because it was being advertised. And but for me, I actually didn't know about DSC not until my brother told me about it, because Sir Shad, hi Sir Shad. So
Hi, sir.
my brother Francis and Sir Shad are quite close friends, and somehow my brother told me like there's this developer student group organization that you might be interested. So I started looking, researching about DSC, what DSC was, and looked at videos from the previous DS leads that was not here yet. It was in Indonesia, I think. So I was looking through their videos on what they do. So I was really inspired by it, and it actually took me a while to decide whether or not I should join DSC, because my question was if I'm able to commit it. Having the responsibility and duty as a DSC leader is it's not that quite easy. And then
Yeah,
you
I
have
think na you
to,
have academics.
yeah, also you have academe, so you have to make sure that you know how to balance your time as well as your schedule, and how you do your responsibility as a student, as a child, and also as a DSC lead. So
You were second year, right? When you knew about
yes,
DSC
I
at
was
first.
second year at that time, and it's also, I think one of the struggles was also that I have no idea how to begin a organization. So it really took me a while to establish the DSC in our chapter. Once I signed up and applied for the role DSC lead, and I got in. It took me a while. I think it was about a month already, and then other DSC leads were already able to establish their orgs, and I was still trying to figure out where or how to build up DSC, who should be my people, who should be my audience, and what are the goals, the vision of the organization, because those are really important when creating a community organization. You should know who your people are and what you do and what is your vision. So those are the things that were quite struggle for me. So yeah.
So you mentioned na starting the chapter was a challenge. So how did the application to become a DSC lead enter the picture?
Um, so yeah, I decided to apply when it was an opportunity. It's not like every day you'll have that kind of opportunity to lead a student organization, and especially it is a group. It's a program offered by Google, so it was really a big opportunity. So that's the time when I decided that if I would take this role and duty as a DSC lead. I should, be more responsible as a student, and I should be able to manage my time and to know how to run an organization. So yeah, then I eventually, I really have that kind of energy already. So I started to, apply, but then I stopped again because, doubts. And I think it's normal when you're in that position to have doubts. So then I took a step back, I took a break, probably went back to it 3 days later, and then I finished it. And I was quite skeptical whether I would go in or not, because I think that I did a bad application. But then eventually, surprising, after a month, I received an email saying that congratulations, you got in. Then you have to do interviews, and after the interviews, it took a while to get a memo if whether or not I got in as a DSC lead or not. So at that time, I already thought that I didn't made it. I tried my best, but I didn't made it. Then after like 2 months or so, I got a notification saying congratulations, you're the DSC lead, and I was really happy. And yeah, I was really happy at the time. I didn't know what to do, and as soon as I was out at that time, so as soon as I got home, I started to write down notes, like what I should be doing first as a DSC lead, what should be the task, I should handle first. So yeah, and then from that forth, I was building the chapter in our university.
Cool. That was really inspiring. The fact that you have to really sit down and decide if you would be committed to it, and then I actually like how you were able to plan out right away, or take notes upon knowing na you got accepted as a DSC lead.
Yeah, because I guess sometimes we have that certain, when we see an opportunity, we really want to get it then, but sometimes we regret our decisions, and I want to avoid that. So that's the reason why I took a step back, and then talk to myself, tried to think about through it. If I became a DS lead, then what would I do? What would change, and how should I manage my time? Me being a student and being a DSC lead, how should I manage these kinds of responsibilities and roles? So yeah, it's really important to take consideration of it.
So when you were starting out, in your first few weeks or first month, what was it like?
So the first few weeks of being a DSC lead was quite, it's quite challenging and struggle at the same time, because again, I really don't know how to, establish a team, establish a organization. But eventually I found people who would help me throughout my journey, and then we started to plan out things slowly. I established the chapter in my phase, because other chapters were really really fast at establishing their organization, but then I decided to take time to establish it in my phase, because you don't really want to make things a hurry, because you might do wrong things or might decide the wrong decisions. So yeah, and then eventually I opened application for all members, and I think there were about 30 students who not enrolled, but applied to be a member for the DSC, and it's quite surprising and overwhelming for me because I wouldn't I wouldn't think that it would reach. I didn't even think that it would reach 20. So like it was really like an accomplishment for me to be able to establish DSC in our university and being able to to handle workshops that that you were able to somehow uh, change the lives, not really entirely change, but you were able to help people,
Influence.
influence them and help them with their needs in terms of learning or starting out to be a developer. And just meeting new people was one of the best experience. Being able to make those relationships with your fellow members in your community, getting to know them, becoming friends with them. It was really nice to to see to see their faces and smiling and knowing that they're excited for this journey, for this community, for the events, and that that you're going to do a great job as a DSC lead, and you're gonna make these students, you're gonna make impact to their lives. Yeah. So those are the things that were really quite, memorable in my term as a DSC lead.
In forming your team, would you like invite friends to be part of the executive board, or
Yeah.
did you actually open applications in general?
No, I didn't open applications at that time because I think it was, for starters, I think it was better to just to find people who who could do the job done and who are your friends at the same time, because you already have that that trust to that person, at the same time
And the
you're
chemistry.
the chemistry, because it's really important you will have a team that you could work with, and at the same time they could work with other people. So I was choosing people who were my friends, who were my closest friends, and and then I started out the application for the members.
So, what were the projects that you guys worked on, you and your team in DSC San Carlos?
Unfortunately, we weren't able to do projects because at that time there were also conflicts between the semester schedule, because we were having a little vacancy, and we had to to do our duties also as a student. But we were able to handle workshops though, but we weren't able to do projects.
Mm.
What kind of workshops were they? Were they like tech workshops?
Yes, there
Or
were
like design?
there were tech workshops, like the info session, because it's something that you should do to your you should host to the community, the info session.
Like a general assembly?
Yeah, a general assembly. And then next thing was a basic web development, and then we featured
So HTML, CSS.
HTML, CSS, but we featured a bit of PHP because people tend to like it more when you can see interaction, like when there's you can see like data moving, or like you can see like the things that they input there like really reflect. So that's why we also taught a little bit of PHP. And the next was Firebase, because around January and February, January to March, it was a Firebase month. So we handled workshops. We handled Firebase Study Jam, and then I also introduced Solution Challenge, but we weren't able to to do the Solution Challenge day.
Okay. Oh, also you mentioned pala kanina that you had trouble like starting establishing, but you were able to find people that could build with you, some friends, some peers. So, how were you able to find peers with similar interests? How did you meet new people?
Um, how I did it, for my core team, what I did is I just forward to my friends and ask them, do you want to lead with me a developer student community? And they said yes. And then, yeah, they became part of it. And then, of course, we cannot do that the same with the members. So that's why we gave out, publication materials, application for to become a member for the DSC in our chapter.
Okay, that's cool. Um, as an experienced DSC lead, what you're also accomplishing your term, right?
Yeah,
Soon. Okay. Can you talk about the benefits of being a DSC lead?
I think one of the benefits of being DSC lead, aside from the brand itself, like let's say Google, I think the one of the benefits of it is that you'll be able to join workshops that are the resources are provided by Google, and I think those are one of the main factors you know why I joined DSC in the first place, because because aside from the resources out there that you can find in YouTube, some students are also finding struggle to where to begin learning programming, because there's a lot of courses out there, especially in YouTube, and then sometimes they might work, sometimes they don't. So yeah, one of the benefits of being a DSC lead or even joining DSC lead is having the opportunity to join workshops that are given by Google, and it's quite convenient and easy to understand, I guess. So yeah, and aside from that is like the opportunity to join the DSC Summit and to meet other developers around Southeast Asia. That was really overwhelming, and knowing that how their journey started. Like, I think one of the most intimidating, why we find tech people intimidating is because like we know them as who they are now. Like, you're a senior developer, but what we don't know is
their job
journey.
title.
Yeah, we know their job title, but we really don't know about their journey. So that's the thing about being a DSC, is that you'll be able to know their journey and to be part of their journey as well. And at the same time, create your own journey that eventually, where the people that you look up to, you'll eventually end up there also. And we're not that different at all. We started from the bottom and now we're here. So hi Drake. So but it's true. Like, we always find it very intimidating, and that's something that I also learn and continue to carry on in my life. That even though I'm at this is my progress and this is how far I am right now, I know I will eventually end up being a better tech person, and I'll be able to impact more lives and change the lives of people and change the world for the better, of course. So yeah, and last but not the least would probably the relationship relationship that you have with the people, because
Your soft skills.
yeah, because it's not every day that you'll find people who have the same interests with you and who would also help you to grow, and then you'll make a friendship or a bond with them. And I think that's something that's really a highlight to my journey as a DSC lead as well.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually sorry, I'm still like how on the point when you said that tech people are intimidating. And it's because when we see people in tech, we see their skills, we see what they can do, we see their projects, but we don't see their journey that they started also. Like we all start out as noobs, but we grow that like we grow ourselves and we build our skills from the ground up. So yeah, sorry, I'm still hung up on that. I'm like, wow, yeah, that's like so true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even up until now, I'm still intimidated by by people that I look up to, especially in the field of technology. But then there are some people that they find it like they find it as a fear factor of why they don't want to continue to tech actually, because they're very intimidated, like, oh, it's really that hard, is it really that difficult? But yeah, it is difficult, it is hard, but eventually you'll if you continue to learn, eventually you'll end up where they are right now. And then that's the beauty of the journey of
Yeah.
being a tech lead or tech person, or being a student who wants to pursue a tech tech degree, and also being a DSC lead.
Oh yeah. So being a DSC lead, aside from like all the learnings that you just kind of like bestowed on us, how did being a DSC lead change your skills, like, your principles, or you as a person? It can be a small change or a big change.
Okay, I think one of the big factors um, that changed my life when I joined DSC Lead was um, not not everybody speaks the same. By that I mean, the experience of learning is that sometimes we get too technical with the people, or with the person who we are teaching. Like we tend to say like technical terms because we want to sound like more professional. We want to sound more genius or intelligent. But the problem is that they don't understand you. They can't understand you because they don't even know what those terms or what you're saying means.
Mhm.
So I think one of the impact is to talk in the level that they can understand. Like it's different when you teach a kid how to use phones compared teaching your grandma. Like do you understand? Like they are different. Like you have
Yeah,
to speak more, use
simplify
simplify
things.
the process, simplify things. So I think those are one of the things that that I got from being a DSC lead. And also the experience and the idea of knowing how to establish organization, start events, and how to to start a community. I think that's the other thing that I learned, that is not too technical or non-technical.
Yeah, so we've learned a lot about you, Bruce, from your humble beginnings when you were a kid and your journey as a DSC lead, which is really inspiring and insightful. So, Bruce, what's next for you?
Well, next for me is, after this call I would eat. No, actually, actually, my journey as a tech tech person. What's the right term for that? I think as a tech student is to continue to learn and continue to share my learning to the younger generation, because I want them also to be inspired uh, of my journey and what I learned through the people that I look up to. So I want to continue that kind of dream, and also to help those people that wants to pursue tech but are having strugglers right now. We want to continuously influence them by continuously learning and helping through the community, and also yeah, and just being there for them, and being that typical kuyas, So yeah.
So now that your term has ended, what's your role right now in DSC San Carlos?
So now my role has ended as a DSC lead. My role currently right now in DSC is design lead. Basically, I do design and curate and set directions for the publication materials and other creatives. Creative things that are related. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that. To kind of like end or conclude our episode, you have this platform now to inspire the future students in tech, and we have a lot of aspiring developers, tech engineers, web designers, and the like out there, and also in DSC now. We're trying to learn about it, and we're trying to build, and we're trying to have that journey. So we want that journey that's quite similar to yours. So if you had any advice for the you that started out in tech, what would you like to tell younger Bruce?
Oh, wow. Okay, so if I would be talking to my younger self right now, it's probably the advice I would give to him is that continue to challenge yourself, because it all started with me being as a very challenging kid, and up until now I continuously to challenge myself, whether it may to be in technical or non-technical stuff related. So to the aspiring developers, tech engineers, web designers, continue to learn, continue to challenge yourself. Being a failure is not the end point of your life. It is opportunity to see where you can go further and what you can do better in your life, and to become the best developer, as well as become the best person forward. So yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a great place to end it today. So to start with starting, I guess. I feel like that's the takeaway that I got from your last one. So, on behalf of Developer Student Clubs Loyola, Paolo and I would like to express our gratitude to Bruce Alturas for joining us in our first episode and sharing insightful stories and lessons with us. It's been great having you on DevCast, Bruce.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bruce. I really learned a lot. So being co-host, wow, it's actually an honor to have you with us and to witness firsthand the lessons that you shared in your journey as a DSC lead. And I'm sure it will really help and inspire younger students out there to pursue a career in tech, because for me, my takeaway is all it takes is patience and perseverance, because learning stuff in tech can take some time. So yeah, all we need to do is be patient. That wraps it up for our first episode. To our listeners, thank you, and we'll see you on our next episode. Have a great day.